They were 20 and now only two left. It is, of course, New Zealand and India that will be battling out on this Sunday's T20 World Cup final, at Ahmedabad. Of course, India will be looking to defend their title, while New Zealand will be looking to win their maiden T20 World Cup. Welcome to the boundary line. My name is Kgatliso Olorato. As always, it is a great pleasure bringing you this episode. I am not alone. I am with my co-host, Mr. Bakang Phale. Sir.
Good morning, Mr. Olorato. It's always a pleasure, sir, to be here, giving our people what they love and talking about this wonderful sport that can help you. So yeah, man, indeed, they were 20, now they are down to 2. So yeah, it's down to India and New Zealand on the final showdown to see where is the cup going.
Talking about hurt, you, of course, being South African, are you hurt by our semi-final defeat?
Honestly, I'm not hurt, man. I'm not hurt, but I was livid. On the day, if 2 days ago you came and spoke to me about anything to do with the Proteas, I would believe it. Reason being that the Proteas were high flying, and one would have expected them to go all the way, given the fact that they have the momentum. They are a team um on a high. I mean, they looked unstoppable. So who would have thought that they would perform like they did against New Zealand? So it's one of those things that one moment you were happy, and then the exact opposite of that at the end of the game, I was so livid. So hurt, I don't think I was hurt, but I was angry of their performance. It was dismal.
Where do you think it went wrong?
Look, man, the way they've been playing, one can never say they didn't bring their A game. It's just that New Zealand came the better prepared team. I can only put it at that because execution in the bowling was pinch perfect. Their batting, we lost the game from the first ball, bro. So it tells you they were the better prepared side than we were.
Me giving you my views is that I am proud. I am proud of this team and how it performed, the way it performed. Because leading up to this World Cup, I was one of those who was skeptical to say, on paper, I don't see this team actually going far in this tournament. But if you remember the conversation that we had in one of the episode, you did say that, bruh, this is T20. And in T20, more often than not, even bad balls can get you a wicket. But the Proteas reaching this the stage they reached, it was not about playing bad. They were high flying, they were playing good, they made us to believe. And they were playing so fantastic to a point whereby everyone was counting them to be the champion. Everyone was hoping that maybe this time they will actually go all the way. But they didn't go all the way. And like you said, New Zealand were the better team. They executed their game plan to the T. You win the toss. You send them first. I mean, you win the toss, you send them first, and then you come and you execute. At some point in our innings, they couldn't catch, And I said to one of my friends that I was watching the game was that if you are not catching the ball, the next thing that you'll be catching is the plane. back to
That too.
Tambo. And it seems like that exactly what really happened. For us to lose two executive wickets, it was totally unnecessary. It seems like they were unsure of how to, how to approach the game. I don't know if them playing most of their games at Ahmedabad really do played a part in the way they performed. They were out of their comfort zone now. They needed to perform. But all we can say is that New Zealand came up with a game plan and they executed it to the T. And South Africa were nowhere to be found on that day. I remember at some point on the 10th over, I just went out, man, for a good 20 minutes. When I came back, at least Marco Jansen brought some dignity in our scoring, in the score line. And then somehow I believed. But then we went into bowl because we were the most devastating bowling attack. But on that day, we were so flat. Your view, sir?
Uh, Man, you've summed it up quite nicely
Hmm.
because we we well, as you said, Marco Jansen came in and put some dignity in our scoreline because at some point, I was with other boys. We were
Hmm.
watching the game, and then one boy said to me, "At least if we can score 120, you can." From that, you
That's
can
how
imagine
bad
that
it
the
was.
the 160, the 168, 169 was not in the picture. You get
Hmm.
what I mean? It was not
Hmm.
even in the picture. No one had envisaged that or foresaw that Marco Jansen will come and add that those valuable runs that
Hmm.
we really needed, at least to lengthen the game to so how many overs that those guys bowled, man. You know what I mean? So excuse me. So yeah, man. So it was not happening, man. From our openers losing De Kock and Ricks and in successive balls.
Hmm.
Um, I think from that moment on, I think that's where we lost the game because you you look at shortly from there, Makram was not in, like he was
Hmm.
not as bossy as he
Hmm.
was in the previous games leading up to the semi-final, and then he was dropped on four by
Hmm.
by 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 Rachin Ravindra. And then
Hmm.
what did he do? When they brought him on, he made sure that he removes him because I mean his wicket was written in the star somewhere to say, if I don't catch him out, I'm the one to remove him. Although
Hmm.
the catch was a bit contentious,
Hmm.
that remains that remains a story for another day because um, if you remember on the previous World Cup where we lost in the final against India, there's
Hmm.
always that controversial moment which
Hmm.
goes against South Africa and we end up losing our games, man.
Hmm.
Because when it was referred, because the player himself he was not sure,
Yes.
so it tells you the player's body language from the onset should tell you as an umpire to say, no, 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 no. He's not convinced. And it can't be
Hmm.
given out because you've got to give the batter the benefit of the doubt more than the bowler
Hmm.
because the bowler's got
Hmm.
more balls to come and bowl. So
Hmm.
it's one of those. We lost that game from there. And Makram never recovered. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You look at that shot. That shot was a lazy shot because from Makram standards, he would have finished the shot. It was just a lazy shot,
Hmm.
disappointing. And then in came Miller, also dropped. From there, I knew that no, we're not gonna do much in this scoreline because the energies were very low, man. You know what I mean? Because um we just needed a hero or two, which
Hmm.
unfortunately Marco Jansen's ones was a bit not enough because judging by how New Zealand batted, it tells you that even if we scored 210 or 205, they were still gonna chase it with ease. So man, it was just not happening to us. I don't know where did we move from 100% confidence to 20. Like
Mm.
that's where now I think we lost the game and we've never recovered. We never recovered because I mean you can't expect much from Marco. Hence he gave us something, but we cannot really expect. If we needed a 30 more from Makram, we needed 30 more from QDK, we needed 30 more from Risk. Then it was something to talk about. At least we could have defended maybe because our bowling was just not up to scratch. Our fielding was just not up to scratch. So that's where those are the areas where we lost our games, our game against New Zealand. I think.
That was not a catch. I just want to put it out there that that was not a catch. It is clear from even in real time, you could see that the ball touched the ground. They did play the review, I think more than 10 times, and the story never changed. That ball touched the ground, and even the fielder knew that, when he picked up the shot. And this is not only the controversial umpiring decision that we've witnessed. I think there has been so many poor umpiring in this World Cup. We've seen, even that Hetmeyer wicket when they were playing against India, that ball did not touch the bat. There was a clear line between the bat and the ball. It was given out, and quite frankly, West Indies never recovered from that. And I think this has to be something that the ICC has to look at it. Because for me, there are no consequences, man. Of course, we were poor and we cannot attribute our losses to only that one mistake that was made by umpire. But we need to make sure that in the future. Phale, there is this word, that people like to use. And I think I said it, in one of our chats, or maybe I was replying to one of the comments that this choking word, man, I think I agree with Coach Shooks. It is overused, because it seems like, when the Proteas they're not supposed to lose. When they are losing, everyone is pulling that word. And from my understanding, and I'm so glad that Coach Schutz did really put it into context that you cannot say that we choked, because I think choking on its invention by the almighty top one, or is it top two or top three or big one or big two or big three?
That's right.
It means that losing the game from the position of power. We were never in the position of power in that game, like you said. So, what is your thought around this choking and, South Africa not being given a chance to lose? Because every time they lose, they are pulling that word. And you could even see from the comments, in one of those pages that, even during the tournament, was it the group stages, was it the Super 8, when the chips were down? Because the Proteas did not only, they win good, but they also won bad in many games. When we are losing 3 wickets, in the first power play, that word has been pulled in. When you look at Crick Info, the comments, it is that word. It is that word. What is your view about this word? Because I'm totally, over it myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you said, and like Coach Rick said, it's a word that's being overused. I think now we have moved past that phase, man. Um, uh, if you yourself has to sit and look back at the Proteas performances from the first game up until the one before the New Zealand loss. I mean, whether we lost or whether we won good or badly, it doesn't matter, because remember that if you are to bring that C word to life, it means those games that you just said that we won badly, we were supposed to not lose, to not win,
Mm.
sorry, but rather choke, if that's if you can put it in that context. Because how can you say we choked when we were the unbeaten team until that moment that
Yeah.
we lost to New Zealand. Man,
Yeah.
sometimes plans that just don't come out the way you have
Mm.
uh,
Mm.
prepared before. So yeah, I believe that we've moved past that phase of calling the Proteas chokers, man. You know,
Mm.
it's just that you know they were playing right, and then just that on the day New Zealand were too good,
Mm.
because in either of whatever that's happening, one team had to win, and then the better prepared team was New Zealand, unfortunately for us. You know what I mean? Because their execution from their fielding, their bowling, and to top it off, man, their batting was top tier as well. So there was never an area where we matched them. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So they were the most prepared. Not that we weren't prepared, but we were prepared, but not as much as New Zealand were. And then execution wise is the one that matters the most. And then the execution was 100%. So that's where now I think power shift went the New Zealand way, man. So, but the choking word, man, we need to move past that. That's so 1925.
The second semi-final yesterday, we saw another Sanju Samson magic, but India were really pushed to the limit. What a game worthy of the semi-final that we saw yesterday. Your view, sir?
Man, it was another Sanju masterclass, man. So I came in, opened the betting. Wow, what a knock! What a knock!
Mm.
That's all I can say. And then, well supported by Ishan, you know how explosive that fella can be. And then
Mm.
Shibam, he came. And yeah, man, you see those Molayana contribution with one big score. They make a defendable total. You know what I mean? Because at the end of
Mm.
the day, India's got a 253, and then they had something to
Mm.
defend. It although they were pushed to the wire, but then they
Mm.
had something to defend, and I'm sure the confidence as well to say we are gonna defend this with all our might. And then at the end of the day, they did. You know, kudos to um, England for making sure that it was not easy for
Mm.
India. They were not given the win on a silver platter, man. They pushed them. Kudos to the young man. The one that's been lauded as the rising star of English cricket, man. Jacob Bethel. What a knock! What a knock
What a
last
knock.
night. Yeah,
Mm.
what a knock last night. Well supported by other guys, man. It was just not
Your
happening for
widgets.
him. Yeah, Will just came in and put in some. It's something similar to what um India did in their betting, with Sanju scoring 89, and then the
Sorry.
rest contributing with those 30 odds runs and stuff like that. Those are things that makes a difference, because and now you look at it, you sit back and look at it, that the India won by 7 runs.
Mm.
Jofra came in, and that 1904 balls was crazy. It was
Mm. Mm.
crazy. It's just that I think the penultimate over, or the experience of Hardik Pandya stood out.
Mm.
Stood out because he came in, and then he made sure that at least leading up to the last over, we have something to defend. And then he came and bowled like an experienced fella that he is. And then, yeah. took it to the last
And
over because remember on the last over, they brought in Shubham Duve for his first over of the match.
yeah,
So the deficit was way beyond England by then,
mm.
because first ball, second ball, it was over. So yeah,
For
man, but
me,
great move.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
For for me, I think the game turned on that 18th over when Jasprit Bumrah came to bowl because he really restricted those guys. You could see that they were frustrated to a point whereby it led, to the wicket of Jacob Bethel, and it goes on to show the experience because you cannot buy experience, man. You have to be there, grind, get those, matches under your belt so that you can be able to do what Jasprit Bumrah do. And I think it was a game worthy of the semi-final, like I said, and it really was a good display of cricket.
Indeed, man. Indeed, man. That it's one of those that Jasprit has been fantastic throughout the tournament.
Mm,
He's
mm,
devastating to the batters when he comes in, when he runs in, when he starts his run up already. He's gonna come. He's not the one that easily. He might have an off day here and there, but you rarely see that. Rarely
yeah,
see that because
because
Jasprit is something. Man.
I think the England's idea was just let's just see him off because he was so good. There was no way that they could get any runs from his over. So I think the idea was just let's just see him off and then we can see on the penalty meter over, but then it didn't work out. Let's quickly, Mfana, look at the final on Sunday. It is New Zealand versus India. India looking to defend their titles, and New Zealand are looking for um, their maiden title.
Yeah, no, man, it's gonna be a cruncher. It's gonna be a cruncher. I look forward to that. Man. Looking at it, the way India played last night, it tells you that they are hungry to defend that. And then, home ground advantage, it comes to play. Um,
Mm,
them, them having such an explosive batting lineup and bowling, they look a better team to defend it. But merely again, the 12th man, your people
mm,
playing at home, it gives you that
mm,
edge. New Zealand, that's one thing about New Zealand. New Zealand, they know how to reach semi-finals and finals.
mm,
Unfortunately, over the years, it hasn't been happening.
mm.
It's just a matter of almost but never was. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think the 12 man factor is gonna be one that's gonna disadvantage New Zealand. So although they're looking to upset Indians in the final by beating them in front of their home fans, but I think India has got an edge on this one, unless
Mm.
if we are to see a miracle like they played against South Africa, then we'll have a game in our hands. Yeah, but in short, for me, it will be 70-30 India.
For me, what makes me angry is that the undeserving team will be crowned the champion on Sunday. Whichever team win, whether it's New Zealand, whether it's India, when you look at this campaign, the only deserving team is South Africa. So I can see that you made your prediction, and then I will like to go with New Zealand. I'm begging them to win their first maiden um, title. But as you say, the odds are against them. But it is the team that defined the odds on their last game. They should just draw from that strength, and we will see. Whatever happens, happen. Kgwe wa ko pele. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of the bundle. I don't know if it was exciting because you can see that the spirit is down, man. Because regardless of whether we are doing this for the entire world, the fact remains we are South African and proudly so.
Yeah, indeed, man. Yeah, thank you very much for engaging. And yeah, man. So it was nice to bring them another episode. Although the energies were low, understandably so. But yeah, man. At the end of the world, and at the end of the day, cricket wins. So this was all
Mm,
about cricket. This
mm,
is always been about cricket. Um, Nationality aside, but cricket is the one that won. Although us as South African will look back and say, what happened? Maybe there's a Mamjiji or a voodoo that we need to cleanse for us to reach this far and actually lifting um, the the title. So yeah, we have another shot next time. We'll give them what they need to know. Hopefully, we'll just break down the entire World Cup in the next episode, man. Yeah, man. It was good to be here, man. Thank you very much for being wonderful, Mr. Olorato. And thanks everyone who will be tuning in. And thanks everyone who are commenting, who are interacting on our episodes, man. Kudos, keep it up. Let's hit that subscribe button. Let's keep the likes going. Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Peace.
we are out of here.